it is your girl Lauren, and welcome back to another video where we are talking about my favorite plants in my collection. This is a video I have been wanting to do for a while, and thanks to Instagram, you guys let me know via my polls that it's a video you guys wanted to see as well. I am super stoked, and today we are talking about my top 10 favorite plants. I struggled a little bit because I kept wanting to do like 12 to 14, trying to see maybe if I should do my top 15, but you know your girl can talk a lot. So we're just keeping it at 10, the sweet spot. But that is it for the intro. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like this video. And let me know in the comments what some of your favorite plants are in your collection. But without further ado, let's get going. Kicking off this video is my first plant, my Monstera Sanaliana aurea. This is one of my favorite plants that I got in 2020. Honestly, I think, yeah, this is the last plant I bought in 2020 before I went into my plant ban. And you guys, I am such a stan for yellow variegation. She is a little bit rough. This is, can you guys see it? Yes, it's the most beautiful leaf, but obviously with sectoral variegation like this, it's kind of hard to keep up. Again, I'm not a perfect plant parent, but I just love the elongated leaves. The variegation can be striped like this, some patches, but I just love how it's kind of overall throughout the plant, which I appreciate because every leaf in this plant has variegation, so I very much appreciate it. This is currently in my greenhouse cabinet, and if you guys haven't seen that video, you definitely should. And right now it's getting a lot of bright light from my grow bars, and it's sitting at about 75% humidity. So this is pretty much a very easy variegated plant. If you're looking for a variegated monstera that isn't super high maintenance, I definitely suggest this one, and it is a super fast grower. So you can't go wrong with a Monstera Sanaliana aurea. But that's it. Off to the next plant. Okay, the next one is my Philodendron Ring of Fire. I'm so ecstatic to put this plant in here because if any of you guys have been watching me from the very beginning of my channel, my third or fourth video was talking about my top 3 plants that I really wanted, which of course was the PPP, the Thai Constellation, and the Ring of Fire, and I got it. This plant is just, I think it's just a super cool plant. I think it's so unique. The variegation when it first comes out is very much of a prominent orange-red color, and then it fades down to green. So if you can see it all, this is the newest leaf that grew in my home. It is winter growth, so I've especially noticed that at least with my plant in the winter growth with less sun in Houston, the leaves are more slender. They're not as, thick and meaty on the width, and they just look a little more tinier. But it's okay. I still appreciate it, but if it's gonna pick it up on camera, I don't know if it's gonna pick it up on camera. Yeah, a little bit. The orange is fading, so right now it's more muted, but eventually it will turn into this green. So from this leaf, this used to be completely sectoral between the red, orange, and green, and it looked super freaking cool. And I just love this plant, how like a Florida Beauty kind of evolves, or a Florida Ghost, where the color starts one place and it fades down to its mature color. I feel like I could talk about every single plant for 2 minutes like I used to do in my old videos, but that's growth for you guys. Okay, on to the next plant. Okay, yeah, you guys see this monster, but come on, how can you not love this plant? I'm just, I keep looking at it in the viewfinder. How can you not love this? And it is my variegated banana tree. I love this plant so much. I've talked about it in a couple of my videos, but I stand for this queen. I'm so happy that I took the risk and bought this plant through an import, because this is a very expensive plant, at least at this current moment in my community environment and what I see in Facebook BST groups. This is like a $700 plant, and of course import plants are always a risk. You can end up buying a healthy plant and then it tanks or so forth, but I was lucky that mine made it at a fraction of the cost, and she is gorgeous. She is in an 8-inch pot right here. She has 4 leaves. I keep saying she, but I don't have a name, so if you guys have a suggestion for a name, please help your girl out. She has 4 leaves. One is kind of, you know, on its way to plant heaven. Banana trees like to stay moist. They are somewhat tolerant to underwatering, but you can't go that long with underwatering before the leaves start getting unhappy, and then, you know, you gotta do some damage control. But other than that, it's a really easy plant. Just give it bright and direct plant, don't miss a watering, and it will thrive. This is the newest leaf right here. And I just love how it literally looks like watercolor. I've said it before. It just looks fake to me. It looks super unreal. The more light you give it, the more variegation it has. This leaf right here was a summer leaf, and you can tell this like big patch of white variegation. I love it. I can't wait for it to continue just to grow and thrive. This is the biggest plant in my collection, and honestly, I'm not trying to play even more favorites, but if for some reason, like knock on wood, this doesn't happen, if there was a fire and I had to save like 1 or 2 plants, she would definitely be the one that I carry. But yeah, that's it. You can tell by my smile that this is definitely one of my gorgeous babies and one of my all-time favorite plants. Hi! This plant, as you can tell, takes up the whole frame like my variegated banana tree. It is the next plant that I want to talk about, my very beloved Monstera Thai Constellation. Let me just pan you through this plant right here. These two are kind of wonky. They arrived like this when I unboxed it. This plant for sure, it's not dead. It's just with the way it was packaged, it just kind of got crumpled in its leaves and it never got its shape back. But you can tell that it's very beautiful, tons of fenestrations. This, can I tip this over? This one is beautiful as well. It has taken a bit of a beat just throughout the time that I've had it because of this huge patch of variegation, but I am not mad though because it's still hanging on. I love it. This was also from the original hello, also from the original seller. Again, that's just the way that it looks, but this leaf is the first leaf that grew with me, and then this beautiful one right here. Like, how can you not? And I'm stoked because if I turn the plant over, there is, will it pick up? There is a bump forming right here, which means a new leaf is on the way. I have very much similar feelings about this plant like I did with my Ring of Fire. I just love this plant. It's just so speckled and starry. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Again, one of the top 3 plants I knew I wanted in my collection when I was starting out. I am just a stan for fenestrations. I really just want a super big, massive, regular Monstera deliciosa with all the inner and outer fenestrations because they give me so much life. Again, if I have to play favorites and there was a fire, I'm pretty sure my banana tree and my Thai Constellation would be the 2 plants that I save. But This is just a queen. She's gorgeous. I think all my plants are just women and queens. Okay, on to the next plant. Okay, here is the next one, my Syngonium Mirabellus. I will continue to think that I am butchering that name. This plant has been through a journey, and most of the other previous leaves, or the leaves still hanging on, look a little rough, but I am really glad to say that I finally figured out what this plant really needs to thrive in my environment. Okay, so let me show you this plant. The other two leaves are just kind of rough, you know. Again, no plant parent is perfect, but look how gorgeous this leaf is. Like, from top to the tip, there are no brown edges, and I still continue to think that a Syngonium Mirabellus is the most beautifully ornate plant. You can't just compare this plant to others, just in my opinion. The vein pattern is so beautiful. The way this plant has these huge sinus and huge lobes that fade into these beautiful ruffles is just a standout plant. I could stare at this leaf literally the whole day. Now, I got this plant, I think, in July of 2020, and up until till November, end of November, this plant was a huge struggle. It was living in my bedroom, and that was getting about 60-65% humidity. And of course, there is an acclimation period when a plant gets to a new environment in your space, so it usually takes longer for that first leaf to grow. But it grew so slow, and when it grew out, the leaf shape just looked not like this. It just looked kind of wonky. If I have a picture, I'll show you guys. And I could tell that there was something wrong in my conditions where it could be more optimal. Since then, I have put it in my greenhouse cabinet, and it has literally been a savior. It's been my own personal experiment to see if the higher humidity would bring its leaf shape back and this leaf structure, and it has. And it grew at a way faster rate. So I think, as I mentioned before, my greenhouse cabinet gets about 75 to 80% humidity, and that has been the key. So I'm not saying you have to make a greenhouse cabinet and make that investment in order to make your Syngonium thrive. That's just what I've had to do in mine, and doing that has made the greatest difference for this plant. And I think it's such a stunner. Hey guys, we are halfway through this video, and the next plant, I'm pretty sure you can see it peeking out, is my Variegated Philodendron burlemarks. I have said it before, and I will continue to say it again, that this plant is so easy. It has beautiful variegation, and it's a fast grower. Like, you really can't go wrong. And if you're looking for a easy variegated plant, an easy variegated philodendron, easy variegated tropical aroid in your collection, then definitely get a burlemarks. Now, this is a crazy plant. I am just perusing through the different leaves. You guys can see, like, it is just beautiful and crazy, super crazy. In the middle here, can you guys see? There's tons of, no, you can't see it. There's tons of little babies, yeah, right here that are winter growth, but this plant just gives me so much life. It sits in the plant shelf in my bedroom and is one of the plants closest to me, so I always get a good glimpse of this variegation, and it makes me so happy. Let me show you guys a really good leaf, like this one. As beautiful fat lobes. It's a very long leaf that comes at the tiniest little point right there. I'm pointing with my ring finger, and the variegation is modeled to patches. It can be kind of starry, like a Thai constellation throughout the leaf, and the variegation is just beautiful. I am not super in love with the growth pattern. Yeah, I think that's a good look. I need to get it like a moss pole for stability, but it doesn't look that cute. I mean, she's crazy, she's wonky, I love her, but if this kind of growth pattern isn't your thing, then that's just something to be aware of. It grows out like this. I do want to propagate her, but the nodes are so close together that it looks a little bit difficult. If anyone has ever propagated a Philodendron Burlemarx, let me know how that went, because I would love to get some more out of her, but besides the growth pattern, this is a plant that you literally cannot go wrong with, and I absolutely suggest this plant to anyone. Okay, now we're on to the next plant, and yes, you guys may be freaking out a little bit because it is an Anthurium. I have never talked about any of my Anthuriums in some of my favorites videos or really an unboxing of some kind because it's been a journey. It's been a journey, a love-hate relationship, but with this greenhouse cabinet, I am telling you guys, it has been a huge saver. But the Anthurium I am talking about today is my Anthurium clarinervium. So a little bit about this plant. This leaf right here came from the original seller, and it has other two leaves. One of them died, one of them is still there on its path to plant heaven. And that leaf that died that I just mentioned died when this leaf grew in my old apartment. So this leaf right here is very beautiful, so cute. It's a little smaller than the one that came from the seller, but nonetheless, I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's just a fat heart shape with big lobes and really beautiful veins. That's basically it. That's all you need to know about the reason why I love it. Now, it is a really slow grower for me. And again, I put this plant in my greenhouse cabinet to see if the plant would I had to think about words, if the plant would grow at a faster rate, and just see if, you know, the leaves would get bigger, because when I had it in my old apartment, it was under a grow light bulb and it was right next to it. Again, you know, it's still different environments, but since putting it in the greenhouse, the newest leaf is fatter, juicier, healthier, and grew at a faster rate. So obviously I am a stan for greenhouse cabinets if you can afford one. I'm not saying you have to make the expense, but this is the newest leaf. Like, oh my God, guys. Looking in my viewfinder, I know I'm not supposed to, but how cute and gorgeous is that? It still hasn't fully developed its color yet. It's definitely bigger, and I love it. There's nothing else to say. I think it's so dainty. The other lobe is kind of hiding right there. Can you see that? Yeah, right there. There is two of those beautiful lobes, and I love it. And so I'm saying now, I do have Anthurium as one of my favorite plants. Something that I still haven't figured out yet, and if you guys know, please help me out, is that whenever a new leaf in my Anthuriums come, the oldest leaf still wants to go. And I really can't figure out why. I was hoping that the greenhouse cabinet would prevent that from happening, but as you can tell, this leaf is perishing on its way to die. But yeah, she's just a dainty, beautiful princess, and that's basically it. So on to the next plant. Okay guys, this is my next plant, the newest addition into my plant collection, but I have loved it just the same, and it is my Syngonium Pink Splash that I got from my great friend Richie. If you haven't seen the plant trade unboxing that I did with Richie, it is up right here. But yeah, since then this new leaf has come out, and look at that beautiful pink. My softbox light is kind of washing out the pink, but it is definitely, yeah, it's definitely pink. It's even more of a bubblegum pink than what's going on camera. The other leaves are just as beautiful. You can see that one right there, this one, and there's nothing really to say about it. Syngoniums are so beautiful, so gorgeous, but they're so easy. They're tolerant to overwatering, underwatering. They're tolerant to different levels of light that you give it, and they just thrive. Like, they're so easy to propagate. I could go on about how much I love Syngoniums. With the pink splash, a lot of the variegation I've noticed is either in big patches with small little speckles like a Thai constellation. It is so easy. I just water it when it's completely dry, and that's it. It is a gorgeous baby, and I can't wait till it grows really tall and full, kind of like my Syngonium elbow. This is the size comparison. I know I'm a little far. My pink splash is right here, and then my Syngonium elbow is right here. So I literally can't wait till this just becomes a tall, mature plant. So yeah, this is why I love this plant, and we are getting down to the final plants in this video. Woo! Okay, so this is the next plant. I think this is number 9, I believe, and it is my Skindapsis Pictus Exotica. This is my girl. She is long, full. Oh my gosh, I just looked at the viewfinder. I know I'm not supposed to look at the viewfinder, but can you literally like not be in awe of a plant like this? Like, come on. I think I've said the word come on like so many times. In awe of my babies. This plant is so easy as well, and exoticas aren't a super expensive plant. They're more on the cost-friendly end of the plant price spectrum. So if you're looking for a beautiful, lush, full plant that is on the cheaper side, go for a Skindapsis Pictus Exotica. I did get this plant and it was already kind of full, but it didn't have these long trails like you see here. They were probably half the length, and it's just been so good. I have it in my living room window. These windows are south-facing windows, but because I have a balcony, this window is pushed a lot farther in, so the light isn't as bright as my bedroom, but still for this reason, this plant is continuing to thrive. There are so many beautiful leaves. Like, this one is huge. Like, I don't know if it's gonna pick up on camera. It's so huge. It's probably like 6 or 7 inches long. It's just gorgeous. As we get down, they do get a little bit smaller just because it's not as close to the roots, but it's just absolutely beautiful. This leaf is a new one that is still developing its color. I love the silvery sheen of this plant, and it's just so present throughout the leaf, obviously, because it has these little mottled look to its foliage. It's super easy, super beautiful, and you just can't go wrong. Okay, now it is the final plant, and I am ecstatic to show you guys. Okay, this is the last plant, my regular form Skindapsis trebui Moonlight. And it's starting to trail. I can't figure out if I wanted to trail or climb. I'm usually team climbing plants, but I have seen some really beautiful trebui moonlights that trail, and they look super gorgeous. So I'm kind of thinking about it. So right now I have this. I got this, I think it was like a 3 or 4 leaf rooted cutting that I got in the summer, and it took quite a while for it to spring out its first new leaf, and since then homegirl has just been doing her thing. This is one huge strand, and I didn't know this would happen, but there is another, what do you call this, another growth point, another area of the plant that's starting to trail again. So this is the newest leaf right here. As you can see from the light reflecting off the leaves, it's super reflective and shiny, metallic, and I don't have any other words to say but gorgeous. Like, look at that. Like, how beautiful is that? Like, again, I usually just water this plant when it's dry, and that's all this plant really needs. So again, another easy, beautiful plant, my Skindapsis Trevor Moonlight. Okay guys, that is it. My top 10 favorite plants. I hope as I'm editing this, and obviously this video is live, that the transitions worked out and they weren't a complete fail. I know I do a lot of talking head videos, so I at least tried to make this a little bit more entertaining. If you guys like this more creative spin when it comes to transitions, then let me know in the comments. I worked really hard on this video, and I hope the end product is something that you guys liked. Again, as I mentioned, I would love to know what your favorite plants are, so drop them in the comments as well, and I will see you guys in the next video.